Picture this. You're scrolling through job applications, and you come across someone with an impressive resume. College degree, spiritual growth programs, personal development courses. Then you see it, a checkbox marked sex offender. Do you keep reading, or do you immediately move to the next application? Today we're diving into one of society's most uncomfortable questions, and by the end of this video, you might find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about second chances. 3 days ago, Marcus walked out of prison gates carrying nothing but a cardboard box and years of hope. For the past decade, he'd transformed himself from the inside out. He earned his GED, dove deep into therapy, found spirituality, and genuinely believed he was returning to society as a completely different person than the one who went in. But Marcus carries a label that makes him different from other formerly incarcerated individuals. He's a registered sex offender. Now, before you click away or start typing angry comments, I want you to really think about this with me. Because this isn't about defending anyone's past actions or minimizing victims' pain. This is about examining our collective response to rehabilitation and whether we actually believe in the possibility of human redemption. Marcus spent day one filling out job applications online. Application after application asked the same question. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? Each time he checked yes, knowing it would trigger a background check that would reveal everything. By day 2, he'd applied to 47 different positions. Fast food restaurants, warehouse jobs, cleaning services, places that supposedly hire people with criminal backgrounds. 0 callbacks. Day 3 brought a harsh reality check. Marcus needed to register his address with local authorities and inform his neighbors about his presence in the community. He watched through his apartment window as people gathered in small groups, pointing at his building, their faces filled with disgust and fear. Children who had been playing in the courtyard were suddenly called inside by worried parents. Here's where this story gets really complicated. Statistics show that people convicted of sex offenses have one of the lowest recidivism rates among all crime categories. According to the Department of Justice, the reoffense rate hovers around 5 to 14%, significantly lower than other violent crimes. Yet these individuals face some of the harshest post-release restrictions and social rejection in our society. Marcus discovered that his new reality included being banned from parks, schools, playgrounds, and countless other public spaces. Dating apps immediately banned his profile once background checks ran. Landlords rejected his rental applications. Even volunteer opportunities at homeless shelters and food banks turned him away, despite his genuine desire to give back to the community. But here's what's really troubling about Marcus's situation. During his decade in prison, he participated in intensive therapy programs specifically designed for his type of offense. He worked with psychologists, completed cognitive behavioral therapy, and showed measurable progress in understanding the harm his actions caused. Prison records documented his journey from denial to acceptance to genuine remorse and behavioral change. The spiritual transformation Marcus experienced wasn't just surface level either. He studied world religions, participated in meditation programs, and even became a mentor to younger inmates struggling with their own demons. Guards and counselors consistently rated him as one of the most reformed individuals they'd encountered in their careers. Yet none of this mattered to potential employers or community members. The label overshadowed everything else, creating an impossible barrier between Marcus and the life he hoped to rebuild. This raises a fundamental question about our justice system's purpose. Are we focused on punishment, rehabilitation, or public safety? Because if it's rehabilitation, why do we make successful reintegration nearly impossible? Consider this perspective. Every person rejected from employment, housing, and social connections increases their risk of desperation, isolation, and potentially harmful behavior. We create the exact conditions that research shows contribute to recidivism, then act surprised when people struggle to stay on the right path. Marcus's story forces us to confront our own biases and examine whether we truly believe in redemption. If someone genuinely transforms themselves, demonstrates years of positive behavior, and poses statistically minimal risk to public safety, what more can society reasonably expect from them? Some argue that certain crimes are simply unforgivable, that victims' rights supersede offenders' rehabilitation. Others contend that if we don't offer genuine pathways to redemption, we're essentially creating a permanent underclass of citizens with no stake in society's success. The uncomfortable truth is that people like Marcus exist in our communities, whether we acknowledge them or not. The question isn't whether they deserve forgiveness, but whether our current approach actually makes communities safer or simply satisfies our desire for permanent punishment. Research suggests that stable employment, housing, and social connections are the strongest predictors of successful reintegration for all formerly incarcerated individuals. Yet we systematically deny these exact things to the people who might need them most to avoid reoffending. So here's my challenge to you. Imagine you had the power to decide Marcus's future. Knowing his genuine transformation, his minimal statistical risk, and his desperate desire to contribute positively to society, would you give him a chance? Would you hire him? Rent to him? Accept him as a neighbor? Your answer reveals more about our society's values than you might realize. Are we a culture that believes in redemption and second chances, or do we only extend those beliefs to certain types of mistakes? The comments below will probably show just how divided we are on this impossible question. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and remember to subscribe for more challenging conversations about the difficult topics our society faces every day.